I'd like to introduce to you Stara.
Hello, we are Stara, and we create games to make the world healthy. Meet Akil. Akil is a gamer and an avid fan of Pokemon Go and Super Smash Bros. Akil, what is the biggest problem in your life?
Well, I know I should exercise more than I do now, and I've downloaded a bunch of apps that are supposed to help me work out, but none of them are really engaging, and I just prefer to play video games over working out because it's just more fun.
So if I'm right, you want to work out, but you don't feel the motivation to do so.
That's pretty much it.
Well, Akil, we have the perfect solution for you. Our video game allows you to exercise without even realizing it.
Introducing Outage, the world's first fitnessified mobile game. So if you could all please close your eyes for a minute and imagine a world where everything has been destroyed. Civilization is on the edge of collapse, many species are extinct, and most humans have died. How did this all happen? In 2050, the world faced a massive food crisis, and the following year, a war started. Once it was all over, you were part of the lucky ones who survived. Now, how are you going to rebuild this world? So you can open your eyes now. I'm going to talk about the game. So, run in the real world to move in the game. You need to find items, collect them, and bring them back to where you live. Then, use those resources to build a shelter, a house, maybe even a building. And finally, you can choose to collaborate with other people or fight against them. So here's a demonstration of our product. So Sahaja and I are both trying to get food. I start sprinting toward the food can, and Sahaja's too tired to run. Therefore, I get there first, receive 10 points, and some food.
So currently we have over 600 people that want to beta test our game that Scott just showed you. We also have a mailing list of over 1,100 people that want to receive constant updates as we progress developing our game. And we've done over 150 either online or live interviews from gamers to determine what features they'd like added into our game and what features they dislike in games.
So in terms of customer acquisition, we have two paths that we're going to take. For pre-launch, we hope to give early access demos to influencers and our 600 beta testers. After that, we also plan on crowdfunding and using our social media to constantly update our users on the progress of our app. Post-launch, we hope to target influencers like Twitch streamers and YouTubers who have a large user base and can advertise really easily. We also plan on going to gaming events to further our user base. As you probably know, the video game market has a lot of competition. We have apps like Clash of Clans, which are completely mobile and require no exercise whatsoever. Then there are apps like Pokemon Go and Ingress, which require some amount of exercise, but do not incentivize the user to continue to exercise. Lastly, you have apps like Zombies Run, which is purely exercise and loses a lot of the fun game aspects that people want. Our app, Outage, hopes to balance both fun and fitness. Aside from our app, we also have an amazing team to differentiate ourselves.
I'm Tony, and I'm in charge of finance and design.
I'm Scott, and I'm in charge of technology.
I'm Akil, and I'm in charge of marketing.
I'm Sahaja, I'm in charge of operations and design.
So I know you guys must be asking, how do we make money? Well, it's very simple. We're going to have two business models. In the early stages of our app, we're going to focus on in-app purchases, as that allows us to generate revenue more efficiently with a relatively small user base. We hope to have a conversion rate of about 7% with an average user spending $20. Then, as we start to gain more traction, we're going to add on a B2B model and basically have sponsored events and items in our game which allow our users to have real-life rewards for their playing of the game. Here's their timeline. So, right after launch X, we're going to focus on building a stable beta testing user base and building the game to what our users want. We're going to improve the game mechanics and graphics to the point that everyone would like to play it. Then, we're going to launch the game. The official release of the game will be 1 year after launch X. And we're going to focus on continued updates to provide fresh content for our users so they don't get bored of the game. And 4 years in, we're going to launch our second game, which we will going to work on after we launch the first one.
We are Stara. We don't gamify fitness, we fitnessify games.
Thank you.
5 minutes for questions and answers.
So the one number that you quoted jumped right out at me was a 7% conversion rate. So I just did a quick Google search, and according to this, the most recent number for conversion rates on smartphones is 2%. So why do you think you're going to be 3.5 better than the global, 3.5 times better than the global average?
So this is for apps in general, and video games have a higher conversion rate, which is typically between 5 and 7%.
Okay.
Talk to me more about how people are not going to get bored. You kind of briefly glanced over that as in, oh yeah, we're going to do constant updates. How are you making sure that the updates you generate really keep people motivated?
Like Clash of Clans, constantly updating
the
features,
initial newness of
new challenges, events, contests.
So, first of all, we plan to create a community on social medias and be very active as developers with the players. That's a big mistake that companies such as Niantic have made. So if we stay really in close contact with the players, we can know what they really want and include it in the game.
Also, in order for this to work, you'll at some point have to scale, right? And so your projection really talked about what the game's going to do, not what you're going to do, and the differences you will have to make in your business. What's your plan there? As the game scales, you will have to increase people count and money count. How are you planning on that?
Traction,
We're thinking of
fundraising.
hiring game developers and 3D designers, as well as people who do an animation, because all 4 of us don't really have experience in that, and we really need that to create a good game for our users.
And that's gonna come straight out of your cash flow, like just from people buying stuff in the game that will make you enough money to hire folks?
So no, we are going to need some investment to start with.
Crowdfunding.
Especially also if we want to go to those gaming events to really become popular. But we are going to need to have an initial investment mostly for marketing and hiring developers.
So is it multi-user? I noticed two of you fighting for the food, or running for the food. And is it actually augmented reality, or is it just kind of your parallel pathing another world?
So we might add augmented reality later on, but for now it's just, let's say, a parallel world to Earth.
And you could do multiplayer.
Yes, you can do multiplayer, and all players are in the same world, which is kind of what's new in our game.
That would mean that there is a social component to it. Can I, in game, pretty much meet new people in the real world? So you two are playing together, you already know each other, you're playing against each other, but there's a third person that is also running after that same source of food. Is that something, A, possible, B, desirable, and C, what else can you do with that?
So it's very desirable, actually. That's what we want included in the game. That was one of the reasons we actually started implementing multiplayer, because the goal of the game is to make people run faster, get fit. And so we thought if there was another person trying to get the same item as you were, they would incentivize you to run faster. And Scott ran faster than Sajat in our demo, and that's why he got the food quicker, which is what we hope to incentivize. We hope that people will run faster to get the item that they want.
Right, but I'm talking about other people, right? So those two were running for the same thing, and you don't even know me, but I'm also running for that thing. Does it allow for that?
So it allows for that. It's all the players that don't know each other. But then again, it does not reveal your public identity because you have a team, you have like a username, so it stays anonymous.
I'm sorry, this is going to sound like a dumb question, but you're talking about running in the real world, but do I have to be watching the phone while I'm running?
So the good thing about that game is that you can look on your phone where the item is or where the resource you want to collect is, then you can put it in your pocket, run there, and then take your phone out once you arrive there.
Before you call time, I want to hear from Sajat. You've been holding your hand up for the mic, and these guys have been hogging it.
I was going to talk specifically about the social aspect. When we first did our primary market research, we realized that a lot of people wanted a social aspect in the games. So one thing we plan to implement is like a team aspect, so you can add people into your group and have it like your team competing against other people, as well as like the real world competing against other random people that are playing the game with you.
That's tight. Thank you, Sarah.